Have you ever spent hours, weeks, or maybe even years building an idea or creating a strategy only to watch someone else copy it overnight? Your captions, your offers, your branding, your ideas, and somehow they start getting attention from it. If you've ever felt angry, discouraged, betrayed, or even questioned whether you should keep showing up because someone copied you, this episode is for you.
Lady bosses, are you working even after putting the kids to bed but still not getting results?
Are you tired of spending money on ads that aren't getting engagement?
Do you feel burdened that you aren't fulfilling your purpose in life because you are so consumed with work?
I'm your host, Brooke Boltz. I'm an attorney and founder of Boltz Legal. I started my business and in 1 year was bringing in 7 figures and am now bringing in multi-7 figures.
And I'm your co-host, Rachel Boltz, owner of Boltz Media. I've helped many businesses build their online presence and increase their revenue through digital marketing.
Want to hear how we did it?
We are here to help you achieve your goals personally, professionally, and spiritually.
So kick off your high heels, sit back, and let's ignite that passion.
We're MS.BIZ, where we're putting the miss in biz.
Let's get biz done.
Today, we're talking about something that almost everyone has experienced at some point in their life, and that's being copied. And this conversation is deeper than haters gonna hate, because when someone copies something that you've poured your heart into, it can feel personal, especially when you've stayed up late building it. You've spent years learning the skills. You took the risks first. You invested the money first. You had the courage to try it first. And then someone watches from the sidelines, duplicates it, and acts like it was their original idea. That kind of thing can make business feel discouraging fast. But today, we want to challenge the way that you think about this completely, because sometimes being copied is a sign that you're leading, you're influencing, and you're setting the standard. And there's a psychological reason this happens often to innovators than compared to the average business.
So I am thinking about this, and I'm realizing that a lot of the things I learn are from watching what other people do. And so I've copied things, but what I do, for example, one of our episodes recently was about power notes, and that was something that Tommy Sandvik in my BNI chapter had taught about. So I went to him and I said, hey, I really like this teaching. Do you mind if I use it for a podcast? And he said, absolutely, that's fine. So if it's someone that you know, or even if it's someone that you don't know, if you like what they've done, most of the time, I think people would be honored that you want to use their stuff or their idea. And if you just ask.
Right. I think the key is asking and making sure that you're giving credit where credit's due. I think where people can mess up is when they see something, take an idea, and then try to implement it and carry it out as if it's their own original, unique idea that, nobody ever inspired them to do. I think that's where people mess up, and where a lot of those hard feelings can come from the person who innovated and developed that. So one thing to consider is that people rarely copy people that they don't admire. So one of the most interesting psychological facts about imitation is this: humans naturally mirror what they perceive as valuable. There's actually a neuroscience concept called mirror behavior, where people subconsciously imitate individuals that they admire, they aspire to be like, or view as successful. That means that copying copying is less about hate, it's more about perceived authority. And think about it, nobody is going to copy a business that they think is failing. People copy movement, momentum, attention, and influence. And while that doesn't make it okay, it does change the perspective. So sometimes the very thing hurting your feelings is proof that you're doing something impactful.
Finding guests for a podcast can be difficult sometimes, so Brooke and I wanted to let you guys know that we are available to appear on your podcast.
We also enjoy speaking at events. So if you have an event coming up, these jingles can go on the road.
Simply go to MS.BIZ.com/contact and in the subject line, write podcast guest or event speaker, and we'll reach out to you to further coordinate.
Copycats usually can't sustain what they didn't build. So this is something people don't always realize. Copying the look of something may be easy, but copying the foundation is hard, especially if you weren't privy to the foundation as it was being built. You're just trying to replicate it. Someone can duplicate your captions, your website style, your offers, your content ideas, or your branding aesthetic, but they usually can't duplicate your experience, your resilience, your consistency, your emotional connection with clients, your reputation, and your story. And eventually that gap shows, and it may not be authentic to them. Authenticity is so important. So if they're trying to take something that works for someone else, but it doesn't fit with who they are, then it's probably not going to be successful long term because it's not genuine to who they are. So borrow strategy without original vision usually burns out.
Yeah. The other thing is a concept called innovation tax. And this is something that a lot of people don't talk about. So the first person to do something often pays an innovation tax, meaning the creator usually experiences the doubt, the criticism, the testing phase, the failures, the financial risk, and the uncertainty. Meanwhile, the copycat gets to observe what worked first. And this happens in every industry. The businesses that pioneer ideas often make the path easier for the people who come after them. But here's the upside. Leaders are the ones who get remembered. The followers are the ones that get compared. And that's why originality matters long term.
This reminds me of when cryptocurrency came out for the first time. Some people who were innovators and were excited and risk takers, they were dumping money into Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency. And the others who were fearful about, I don't know what this is, I don't know what's going to happen with it, they stood back and waited. But those who invested early became wealthy. I mean,
right.
It grew tremendously over the years. So that's not always how it works out, but that was a case where early risk-taking and innovation worked to the benefit of those who invested.
Yeah. So the worst or the most dangerous thing you can do after being copied is to stop creating publicly. Oftentimes people, when they're copied, it's disheartening and they can become fearful, guarded, bitter, and just stop producing things altogether. They can be silent. And that's exactly what insecurity wants. But the reality is that people who innovate consistently always stay ahead, because creativity isn't a single idea, it's an identity. And copycats often struggle because they're chasing instead of creating. So one of the greatest competitive advantages in business today is emotional courage, the willingness to keep showing up creatively even after disappointment.
Do you love the MS.BIZ podcast?
Because we love you.
Here's 3 things you can do to show your support.
1, write us a review. Apple, Spotify, and Google My Business are the best platforms to write a review.
2, follow us on social media. Our handle is at MS.BIZ Podcast.
3, join our Facebook group, MS.BIZ Nation, for exclusive content and behind-the-scenes footage. Also, ask questions related to your business and discuss topics from our episodes.
So, and if we're being honest, the real brand is your personal energy and who you uniquely are. So people think that branding is logos, fonts, colors, and graphics, but it's actually your emotional memory. It's how people feel when they interact with you. And that means that two people can sell the exact same thing and look the exact same way on their branding, but people will still choose differently based on who they trust, who feels more authentic, what energy they experience from that person or that brand, the leadership behind the brand, and the emotional connection that they feel. So that's why someone can copy your business, but they can never become you. Your energy is part of your intellectual property, and energy cannot be duplicated.
So some of the things to do when someone copies you is to document. Don't obsess. So if anything crosses any legal lines, you want to make sure that you document it professionally. Don't let obsession consume your creativity. Also, keep innovating publicly. The best revenge is evolution. Strengthen your community. People stay loyal to authenticity, so make sure that you're staying true to that, and let your reputation speak. So it's really easy, especially if somebody copies us and we get upset, to want to go on a rant or a rave or talk poorly about them. Really try to let your reputation speak. People eventually notice who's imitating who and who the real OG is. So just keep being yourself, let your reputation speak on your behalf, and don't shrink your gifts. You were not given vision to hide out of fear. If you've been feeling discouraged because someone copied you, we want you to remember this, that original people trigger imitation. It's been happening throughout history forever. So innovators get copied, leaders get watched, movements get replicated. But the most beautiful part is no one can replicate your why, no one can replicate your journey, and no one can replicate the lessons that you've built. So eventually, authenticity always has a voice that people recognize.
So don't stop creating, don't stop building, because the world doesn't need another watered down version of you. It needs the original version of you. So thank you so much for listening to the MS.BIZ podcast. If this episode resonated with you, send it to another entrepreneur who may need this reminder today.
We appreciate you and are honored to be on this journey with you. We can't wait to help you, to encourage you, and show you how to grow personally, professionally, and spiritually.
If you found MS.BIZ helpful, please leave a review and share with others.
You can follow us on social media at MS.BIZ Podcast.
For legal questions or services, please visit boltslegal.com.
And for digital marketing needs, please visit boltsmedia.com. Let's get biz done.